Hi everyone, in this video we're talking about obtuse angles and how we can use sine, cos and tan when our angle is greater than 90 degrees. So let's have a look. Here's a circle and let's divide it into 4 quadrants. We call these quadrants 1, 2, 3 and 4. Because when we're talking about angles, we start at the right over here and we go anti-clockwise around our circle. So we follow it through right around here. Okay, so now that we have that, we've got our labelling system. We need to remember what happens to our angles, what happens to our trig ratios when we move around this circle and our angle gets greater than 90 degrees. So when we're in this first quadrant, we can say that all of our trig ratios are positive. So sine of theta is greater than 0, cos of theta is greater than 0, and tan of theta is greater than 0. We'll move a little bit further along. In quadrant 2, only sine is positive. So sine of theta is less than 0, cos of theta is greater than 0. Oops, sorry, I've got these the wrong way around. There we go. Sine of theta is greater than 0, cos of theta is less than 0, and tan of theta is less than 0. In quadrant 3, only tan is positive. So sine of theta is less than 0, cos of theta is less than 0, but tan of theta is greater than 0. And finally in quadrant 4, only cos is positive. So sine of theta is less than 0, cos of theta is greater than 0, and tan of theta is less than 0. So now we know that information, and we have our CAST cast diagram. We can also remember this as all stations to central, so all stations to central. So we could remember any way we like, as long as we do remember it. That's the important thing. And it's also important to be able to say, if, for example, cos of an angle is -3, where could that angle be? Oh, it can't be -3, sorry, cos will always be between 0 and 1, and -1 and 0. So let's say cos of theta is -0.5, where could that angle be? So if we think about cos being negative, it would have to be either in this quadrant 2, somewhere here, or it'd have to be in quadrant 3. Let's now say, what is sine of this angle here? Just the positive or negative, we don't care about the actual number in this question. But sine of that great big angle there, well, sine is less than 0 there. What if we took cos? Well, it'd be less than 0. If we took tan, it'd be greater than 0. So it's important to be able to remember this cast diagram to talk about what happens to our trig ratios when we're in each of the different quadrants. Another really cool thing is you can tell when your ratio will be 0 based on when it changes between negative and positive quadrants. So for example, sine in the first quadrant, we have sine of theta is positive. In the second quadrant, we have sine of theta is positive. So that means sine of theta cannot have gone through 0 on this line here. But so that means that our sine of theta would have to be 1 at that point there. If we're talking about our sine of theta here, sine of theta here, sine of theta was positive in quadrant 2, and now it's negative in quadrant 3, which means that on this line here, we have to pass through 0 to be able to go from positive to negative. So that's another way we can use our cast diagram, is to help us remember where we're 0 and where we're positive 1 or negative 1. Okay, hope that helps.